guys, it's Antoinette and welcome back to my channel. Now, I have to admit that this is the most clickbaity of videos I have done, in that if I named it or titled it what I should have called it, financial literacy, education and getting on the financial freedom track, ain't nobody clicking on this, nobody's gonna watch it. And I think there lies the problem. Like, things that are so important for us, we kind of tend to push to the side as non-essential simply because we haven't got much interest in this. And I'm talking because I used to be like this. If I don't have interest in something, best believe I'm not going to part my time or energy or anything towards it. But it's dangerous because the things that are important for us or our future, we don't take on board as serious. And I think for financial education or financial literacy or getting more financially literate, you need to see it as like going to school. Now, when you're in school, there's certain topics that you might not necessarily have any interest in, you might not like it, but it's essential for you to do it and go through it so that you can get to the next stage. So just see financial education as something that you need. And again, I need to emphasize with this video and every other video that I'm doing this to encourage people out there that think it's too high of a goal to achieve. If I can do it, then you can do it as well. With my track record of being an overspender, like a chronic spender, not caring too much about money, finances, not even wanting to understand it, to get into the stage where I am now. And I'm not saying that I know it all. I'm not an expert in this, but I have the basic knowledge about how money works. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it, and you can make your future a lot better. And I feel like a lot of the time we pray to God like, okay, I want to get out of debt, I want to do this, I want to do that, but we don't have any plans to back up what we're praying for. How can we be praying to get out of debt, but we're doing everything to keep ourselves in that situation? So this is just an encouragement to put out there to motivate you again. And everything that I'm saying is not information that we don't know. It's just to steer you back in the right direction. If you've had some certain things at the back of your mind, to steer you to acting. Because the thing with motivation is, your motivation of yesterday will not necessarily carry you through to today. It's like a renewal process, renewing the mind. You've got to constantly be on it and constantly be reminding yourself of why you're doing this. Why are you setting these financial goals? Why are you trying to get financially educated? Why do you need to have this understanding? Why do you want to save? When you keep reminding yourself of these things and you have it in your forefront, then it kind of motivates you, especially when things get a bit tough. So in essence, what I'm saying is that ultimately you can reach that goal of financial freedom. You can reach, because people that are living debt-free do not have two heads. They don't have two heads. You just need to look at it like that. There are people out there that are doing this on a consistent everyday basis. You may not necessarily have them in your cycle or your close knit, but there are people out there doing it. So why can't you change your mindset about it? And I think that's one of the first steps we need to take in becoming financially educated, is changing our outlook and changing the way we think and feel about money. Because the way we think and feel about it determines what we do with money when we get it in our hands. So you need to change your thinking process and your mindset. There's a couple of books that I have that will help so much with this. I'm going to mention all the books at the end of this video that I think will help you in regards to getting that basic understanding of how money works and getting you on the right track mind-wise in regards to how you think about money and think about finances. So change your mindset, renew your mind to what money is about. I touched on this in my money myths video that I did back in December. There are so many myths regarding money that you need to debunk and get out of your head, get out of your system before you can go on. Remember that debt is in people, it's not on them, it's in them. It's how we've been programmed, how we've been brought up, how we've been taught. Like, we've been taught poverty instead of financial freedom, for instance. And there's that saying, the rich get richer while the poor remain poor. And there's a reason for that, because the rich are passing on these principles to their children, who are then applying it, implementing it in their lives. And that's why the rich are getting richer and their children are doing well as well. So whereas everyone else is kind of like staying stuck in that cycle of debt is fine, it's part of life, you need debt, or you can't get by without debt, whereas other people are doing the complete opposite and getting on with their lives. So it's all about changing your mindset to it. And in line with that, we also have to face reality, face our shortcomings in that, especially where we have not been financially disciplined. Face up to it, own up to it, and know what's going in your account, going in and out of your account at all times. You need to know this, because there's that tendency that if you don't know what's happening in your account, it's because you don't want to know. You just want to like detach yourself from the reality of what's actually happening. But you need to, on that road to financial freedom, need to budget. You need to have plan in place into how you're getting out of debt, and you need to know what's happening. I'm on a journey as well to bettering myself, bettering my knowledge, how I can, because I look back and I remember where I was and where I am now, and I know that the seeds sown before, I'm reaping those harvests right now. And at the time, discipline doesn't feel good, but when you're reaping the benefits of it much later on, you're like, yes, it's worth it. So we're all on this journey, and I just hope that you get a little bit of motivation out of this to, yes, you can do it, and yes, you are worthy of doing it. And no, you don't have to put up with a life that is mediocre, or you don't have to put up with a life that is full of debt and causing you to be stressed out. And like with every other thing, and I'm learning this more and more each day, to become more financially educated, you are going to have to invest your time, your effort, your energy into bettering yourself, and sometimes even your money. It's going to work out a lot better for you in the long run. See these as necessary basics to get to where you need to be. Small steps, baby steps. Don't bite off more than you can chew, because if you do, well, you won't be able to chew. So you need to take small steps. Don't compare yourself with someone else's pace or someone else's journey. There's quick examples that if I flash back in a couple of videos that I did in the past, I had this like scanty £15 Christmas tree behind me, but I still used what I had where I was at that stage in life. And I look back now and I'm like, I'm now at the stage where I can buy myself the Christmas tree that I want. Just an example, real Christmas tree, fuller. If I had looked at my Christmas tree then and thought, okay, I can't show this to the whole world because I don't want the whole world to see my state, then you basically don't think about anyone else. You need to have tunnel vision. You need to have a focus when you're doing this, and what people think of you and your financial situation, or what you're driving, what you're wearing, all of that, it cannot play in it. Everybody else's opinion does not matter is key. And this video is just an overview, because you know, money governs a lot of what we do in life, and we are not taught this in school. It's so crucial. So crucial. When you get to understanding how money works is crucial. Don't be turned off by everything else that's going on around you. The world around you will tell you that being in debt is all right, being in debt is okay, and in some cases necessary, but it's not. So you're pedaling upstream, you're pedaling against the flow, and that's what makes it so hard. But if you do it and you're consistent and diligent in what you're doing, you will reap the benefits. And I also want to point out that while you're doing all of these things to get yourself financially educated or get yourself out of debt, that you don't slide into poverty mentality, because you might now become or get to an extent or stage where you're just like, oh, can't do this. I'm not trying to say don't enjoy life. You need to enjoy life, because the life is for living. But what I'm trying to say is that if your enjoyment of life or your spending far outweighs your savings, if you're trying to get out of debt and stay out of debt, then you know you're not serious about the matter, right? You need to have a balance with these things, and don't get so overwhelmed with trying to save that, like I said, you end up with a poverty mindset of you can't spend at all, because that's dangerous in itself. So start off where you are, no matter how small. Make that little investment, even if it's like £10 a month that you can save. Do it. So you're getting yourself into that cycle, you're getting yourself into that yes, I'm doing something actively towards doing this, understanding money, whatever it may be. Do it now, do it where you are. There's no better time to start than now. There's always going to be an excuse of why we shouldn't make a move. So taking small steps always wins. See it as a marathon. Don't have that get rich quick mentality. No, you're building slow, slowly, bit by bit, and have in your forefront that constant reminder for why you're learning about money, why you're trying to understand money. Because once you understand money and how it works, you will make better financial decisions. No room, no scope for generics. Be specific. Money grows, so keep on keeping on. Keep on with your diligence. Don't despise the day of small beginnings, because money accumulates, and practice financial discipline. There's no point in you saying that you want to be financially educated if you don't end up implementing these things, if you don't have the self-control to implement what you have learned. Like I said before, discipline feels harsh and rough at the time, but it is beneficial in the long run. If you abuse something, there's a tendency to lose it. So if you abuse money, there's a tendency that you're going to see that money go. I've given so many examples. If you've got that urge, if like me, you have that urge to buy something, go away, take time out. If it's a couple of weeks, see how you feel about it much later on. If that urge isn't there anymore and it's dwindled, then you know you don't really need that thing. So these are the kind of things that you need to put in place, the practical steps that you need to put in place in line with stuff like leaving your debit card at home if you're going shopping and only taking the cash that you know that you need to spend. Put these practical things in place that will help you build up your future. So finally, here are some of the basic books that I think you should start off reading if you haven't already read them, that will help you on this financial education journey and get into financial freedom. They're just basic books and they're like start off books, and I think they're really good, and I've read through them and I think I would recommend them. The Millionaire Next Door, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's a really good one as well. Who Moved My Cheese? Yeah, that's one. Think and Grow Rich and Think Big. There's also that book that I've mentioned in one of my monthly book readings, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? This book isn't necessarily about money, but it does kind of help you understand having a mindset towards progression and doing better than where you are before. So guys, I'm going to leave it there for now. I don't want this video to be too long. Just remember, it's one step at a time, baby steps. Keep going, so that you have a more confident life. You're financially free, you feel better, you're stress free. All these things, they're just bit by bit. Your learning will grow, it will accumulate, but you need to take that step first of all. So guys, I will see you in the next video. This is just like a basic overview of the whole money talks and like why it is important for you to get financially educated or literate if you haven't already done so, or you don't think it's necessary. It is necessary. You might not see it now, but you will reap the benefits much later on. So yeah, there's levels to these things, guys. Let's level up. Let's level up. 2019. Anyway, yeah.